Huey Jr. in first glance to the outside, party in the shadows, and you're the one. Field of seven, top of the stretch. Well, one of these is the one. We're going to find out who as they're into the stretch drive. Here they come. A field of seven for the 10th race, nearing the start. And they're off. Huey Jr., Gambling Addiction. First glance leaves well. Southwind Sandor at the beach. Hanover and Party in the shadows. And then well back trailing the field as they work their way on into the backstretch is You're the One. And it is Huey Jr. who's got the lead. Huey Jr., the 1-5 favorite. First glance is filling the pocket. Gambling Addiction third. Now Southwind Sandor broke stride at the beach. Hanover is currently surfing fourth in front of Party in the shadows. Huey Jr. is living up to the 1-5 billing right now. 28-1's the opening quarter, but that is first glance is right there with a glance at things from the pocket position, and then it is Gambling Addiction at the beach. Hanover, and racing fifth is Party in the shadows. Off the turn they come. Huey Jr. off that 28-1 opening quarter. Wouldn't mind getting a second panel breather as they race on past us, and first glance is they're racing second, and third Gambling Addiction, half 57-4. 8:29-3, second panel as they work their way on into the backstretch. It's Huey Jr. first glance, tight in the pocket, racing third Gambling Addiction. And Gambling Addiction is angled to the outside. And then also on the outside is Party in the shadows. And racing fifth is at the beach. Hanover. Gambling Addiction is coming quickly. Now is going to challenge Huey Jr. Huey Jr., though, leads it by 3/4. Gambling Addiction on the outside. And then third is First Glance. And then it is back to Party in the shadows. And at the beach, Hanover, and You're the One. 3/4, 127-2. And Huey Jr. off of 57-4 half now has got a lead of about 2 1/4 as they turn for home. Racing second, First Glance on down the stretch drive they come, and Huey Jr. is still moving well. Huey Jr. has got this one sewn up. First Glance is going to stick around for second, Party in the shadows third, and Gambling Addiction fourth. Huey Jr. 155-1. Back in front of us, the winner of the 10th for Huey Jr. It's the driving double for J.R. Applaud. Huey Jr. is a 5-year-old art major bay gelding owned by MT Stables, Scarborough, Ontario. J.R. is also the trainer. It's the 6th win this year, 11th lifetime for Huey Jr. Back-to-back wins for Jr. 155-1. The 10th race payouts for Huey Jr. 250, 210, 210. 5 First Glance, 450, 310. 6 Party in the Shadows, 790. $2 exactor, $13.40 try, $25.45. The dollar super, $199.60.